I find much of the language of the text at odds with reality. I don't believe that NATO is committed to promoting and safeguarding peace and security. NATO's expansion, meddling and provocation in Ukraine laid the ground for this war in Europe at the moment. What have NATO ever done for peace and security? Is Afghanistan peaceful and secure after 20 years of illegal invasion and occupation? Is Libya peaceful and secure after the regime change war in 2011? What about Syria, Iraq and Yemen? The US and UK and their allies have helped destroy these countries, killing millions of people in the process and displacing many millions more. The declaration talks about conflicts providing fertile ground for terrorist groups. Were those peacekeepers we partnered with in Libya? Who exactly was being trained with Operation Timber Sycamore? What did Jake Sullivan mean when he told Hillary Clinton in 2012, Al-Qaeda is on our side in Syria?
I don't think that NATO was, NATO was creating the threat and now is feeding this process. NATO was a response to I'm sorry to use this term, to an imperialistic vision that unfortunately is still there. And that's the imperialistic vision of Russia that has not come to terms with the role that they may have on the continent. But I mean, I honestly do not believe that this war has been generated by the fact that NATO is going closer to the border. I mean, it's my very honest opinion.
The NATO summit in Madrid was a big love-in for the supporters of the military-industrial complex. NATO is not a defence alliance. It's a war machine. Ask the people of Afghanistan, Iraq or Libya. NATO's real goal is the defence of a waning US hegemony and a unipolar world system. That's what NATO exists for. Any discussion of that is silenced, chilled in this land of free speech. The war in Ukraine, NATO is loving it. Like the US, the Russian economy is dominated by monopoly capital. Both countries are run by oligarchs. Now we have a US-NATO proxy war against Russia and Ukraine. Two factions of capitalist imperialism waging war against each other, with millions of workers caught in between. A survey by the European Council on Foreign Relations showed that the vast majority of European citizens want peace rather than promoting a war that punishes Russia. But NATO never wants peace. What I want to know is, what does the EU really want?